Welcome back to What's Up Wednesday. That's a great freaking sunrise, I'll tell you what. Alright, and I got some great news today, or some crazy news I should say. Proper What's Up Wednesday. Yeah, I'm moving to Norway. Wife and I'm finally able to say everything's locked down for sure. We're moving to Norway. We're uprooting. So I haven't been so forthcoming about this all summer, but that's what's in the works right now. Let me finish making my way somewhere reasonable, and then I'll give you the full details. Yes, so big day today. I am finally giving notice to my boss today that I am moving to Norway. So, obviously a whole lot to unpack there. We've got me, my wife, and we've got a 1.5-year-old child, so it kind of feels like an insane time to go on a crazy adventure, but actually, from talking to everybody, the only thing we've heard from people older than us with kids and everything is now is literally the best time to do it that we will ever have again. While we have a 1-year-old, I mean, she's not tied to anything yet. Once she's in school, she's going to be a lot more attached to where she's at and who she's with. And so that is around 5. And so we have time between 1 and 5 to make a big move and kind of go on a big adventure, and then decide whether or not we like it and move back and have that be, a second big adventure before our kiddo is attached to the place we're at and we feel worse about moving. And of course we still could move with her after that. We could move up until she's like 7 or something, but it sounds like moving during middle and high school is actually like really severe on kids. Like it can be seriously like that is a very impactful event that sticks with kids for the rest of their life, is moving during those formative years, is what we've heard. So yeah, while before she's in school is going to be our best time to move. We've still only got one kid, and so we might as well try out something new and see if we like it. So that's our game plan, is head over there for a couple years, see if we like it. Yeah, let's see, I got a job lined up over there, so that is the mechanism for doing so. We're going on the adventure. Obviously, like, getting a job over there had to be an intentional thing, right? I couldn't just, that doesn't just show up on your doorstep one day. So I was applying for work over in Norway. And why would I do that? Well, a few reasons. One, and Norway wasn't the only one. I was applying in a couple places. I think I had applied in Norway and Denmark, and then I was interested in applying in Singapore and maybe Finland as our first places to apply. But those places came up from my wife's criteria. The place had to be reasonably English speaking, well, mostly English speaking, and very safe and very developed. She gets nervous about stuff, and so it's going to be an adventure either way. We don't need to have the extra adventure elements of moving to a less developed place along with that. So yeah, those were my wife's criteria, and so that helped narrow down the list of places to check out. But reasons I like Norway specifically are, one, they've got fantastic healthcare going on. especially in a time where we may be trying to have another kid in the next couple years. That's a big deal. The child care also is almost free, heavily subsidized, which is fantastic. Daycare over here is killing us, I'll tell you. And then on top of that, the education is just awesome too. They really educate people very well. And then the education is very good. It's also very safe. We don't have the school shooting risks that we do here in the States. And there was actually, we heard the daycare shooting that happened, well, kind of a while ago at this point, but at the time we were thinking about this, and our kids, of course, in daycare, and so that was scary to hear. Would rather not be in a place where that is on the table, you know. So we want to go somewhere with some improved school safety and improved education, and that's on the table there over in Norway. And then I personally like the sounds of Norway because they have skiing and surfing in the same town. They've got mountains and ocean right next to each other, so that's sick. I'm really excited for that. And yeah, lots of nature emphasis over there, which I think is going to be really healthy for me personally. It sounds like they've also got some like huts that you can hike to and just stay in, and like people treat them well. Like out here we've got some huts that you can hike to and stay in, but you gotta pay a lot to go to them, and like you kind of don't trust the people before you to leave it in a good state. And so, you know, you got to bring everything on your own, like check around the place to make sure everything's, you know, intact, no broken glass in your mattress or whatever. It sounds like they do a much better job of taking care of community spaces over there. And when we went over there to visit for my interview, that was our experience too. It was shocking. Just driving along the highway, there just wasn't trash on the side of the highway. That was like really bizarre. Yeah, like the place was just clean. People were taking care of the community spaces, and I think part of that is I don't know, it's a cultural thing, and that's kind of the thing too. Is I don't know what all we are going to see over there. You know, that's what makes it an adventure. Is we don't really know what we're getting into. So I'm excited to learn partly what things I'm taking for granted over here in the United States, you know. I'm sure there's plenty of things over here that I don't even realize are great about my life now, that when I'm over there, we're gonna see it and be like, man, we really missed that, you know. But I couldn't tell you what those are, you know. Maybe it's having a Chipotle down the street, but I feel like there's probably going to be some more serious stuff that I don't even realize happens here but not there, you know. And so I'm excited to kind of find out what that is, maybe gain some new appreciation for my home, and kind of in the other direction too, of like, okay, what things do I just kind of assume are givens about the world that I don't like, that actually aren't necessarily true and could be challenged. So I don't know what those are gonna be, but like maybe I find out, like maybe I've always assumed, yeah, everybody stubs their toes on their coffee tables, you know, and turns out over there in Norway everybody's figured it out. Nobody stubs their toes. I don't know. So I'm excited to find out what those are. We don't really know either way what we're taking for granted here in the States, positive and negative. So I'm excited to learn that. I'm excited to explore a new place. I'm excited to try and ski and surf in the same day. And yeah, we'll have access to good healthcare, good education. The university is also free over there. So I don't know if we'll stay long enough for that to pay off big for our daughter, but that'd be nice. I would love to not have to pour my life savings into educating my daughter. I would love for her to just be able to be educated, first of all. But second of all, I might try to take advantage of that. I've been interested in maybe going back and trying to take some more classes. I've kind of missed the academic space. I want to do some more math, maybe get a PhD. I don't know. I don't want to make any promises there that I can't keep, but that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, there's some weirdness about the pay gaps over there. Like, it's just a lot more smushed. There are not the huge wealth discrepancies. We met a dude over there at a park. Also, they have parks every 2 blocks, which was sick. Everybody walks everywhere. Everybody walks, bikes, or buses everywhere. And so there's like a lot more people out and about. So I think there's a lot more sense of community, which lends itself to why the community spaces are cleaner, you know, as people have that benefit going on. But what the heck was I going to say? Oh yeah, we met a guy at a park. He told us he's like on the lowest end of Norway's pay scale, like literally in the States. He would be living under a bridge. But over there in Norway, being on the absolute bottom tier of the pay ladder, he's got a 4-bedroom house for his 2 kids, and he's doing all right. So, just an example of what I mean when I say like the wealth discrepancies are a lot smaller. Like, and on the other end, like the most highest paid folks over there in Norway are not making crazy amounts. They're making still kind of reasonable salaries. So, I mean, good and bad on that, right? That's one of those things that probably we're taking for granted over here, is like, it is the land of opportunity in the States where you really can still, you know, if you make it big, you can make it big. You know, Musk just became a trillionaire. So there's like the extreme example of that, where, you know, it sounds like maybe in Norway that's less of an option, but also maybe you don't have to as much because you just get paid a reasonable amount and you don't have to fixate on money so much. So I don't know, we'll find out. Interested to see. And then yeah, so the wealth gaps thing, and that's also true of like gender pay gaps. Like, women are paid closer to what men are paid, if not more, because they know that women were Vikings too up there in Norway. So like, everybody's Vikings up there. So we'll see how that goes for me. But yeah, the men and women are all kind of respected, is what we've heard. Yeah, and then they are investing heavily in climate initiatives, which is something I love. And then also long term, and I don't know if, again, we'll be up there long enough to realize this benefit, but they are further north, which is something I've always kind of expected myself to do at some point, is to move north to adapt to climate change. Out here in Colorado, it is feeling like a desert more than ever. Colorado's always been a desert, to be clear, but man, it's getting really hot. 100-degree days are no longer super rare, you know. We've been in droughts for, well, it feels like forever, at least a decade, I'm sure. Maybe, well, it feels like at least a decade. We've had droughts, like massive forest fires every year, both from us and all the way up the whole west, like Canada and all the places. Droughts, fires, and floods. So, floods over in Lyons, floods down in Texas. You know, the west is just getting kind of clobbered by the warming right now. So, yeah, I've always kind of expected to have to move north at some point, and Norway would satisfy that goal. Again, I don't know if we'll stay there long enough to realize that benefit, but it's out there. Okay, let's see. I think that's all I have to say about that. I'm sure I missed some stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for what's coming next. We're moving here in 3 weeks-ish. The countdown is hitting. The timeline is nigh. So, yeah, lots to do. I'll tell you that. But that's also, I mean, part of why the music stuff has slowed down. So, sorry the music stuff's been slower. Hopefully when I get there, I'm less busy and can do that. At least less busy with trying to pack and stuff. We'll see. All right, happy not Wacky Wednesday. Happy What's Up Wednesday. My daughter loves the book Wacky Wednesday. It's always on my mind now. Happy What's Up Wednesday. I'll see you next week.